Hi Kurt, and family and friends and colleagues. I want to say something about dynamic modeling, since you have been a very important source of support and inspiration here. It must have been like 25 years ago that you came to Westervelde, which is a village where we live, and we were sitting, I think, right at this place, and we were discussing model building, because you had been the reviewer of a psychological review article of mine about dynamic model building, and we were using, it was beautiful weather just as it is now, and we were using a portable computer. Now, a portable computer in those days was something you needed, like an Olympic weightlifter to actually carry it. But anyway, so we were discussing dynamic modeling, and you were sleeping in the sheep shed of our neighbors. I know, well, so far for Dutch hospitality, but of course you remember that this was a very comfortable apartment. Anyway, as I said, you were really the first and certainly also the most important supporter and source of inspiration for dynamic modeling in developmental psychology. And we did a lot of very interesting dynamic modeling together, especially when we were at the Center for Advanced Studies at Stanford. And by the way, I'm still extremely grateful for the fact that you invited me to be part of that group. Well, people will probably ask why modeling, and I would like to paraphrase something that Yogi Berra said many years ago, and he said something like, you can observe a lot just by watching, and in fact, we can say that we can learn a lot just by modeling. And I called it experimental theoretical psychology, and you called it computer games for professors. And maybe the fact that you called it computer games for professors explains why it unfortunately never became really popular among developmental psychologists, because developmental psychologists like to study children, but they don't like to be like them. So learning by playing is not very popular, but anyway. By the way, a couple of years after your first visit, you visited Westervelde again, and we talked about modeling again, and you were accompanied by Jane and Joanna, and it was then that the big bad wolf suddenly appeared, this ugly, hairy beast who was scaring us to death. And scientists are still debating the issue, and some say it was Lane, my wife, and not a real big bad wolf. But when I ask her, she says,
wolves don't speak.
You see? And each time, and then I say, well, I'm pretty sure you're not telling me the truth. And then she says, yes, I am. Wolves don't speak. Anyway, Kurt, I'm extremely grateful for the support and inspiration you gave me, of course, not only with regard to dynamic modeling, but dynamic modeling is certainly one of the main things we did together. And of course, I sincerely hope that your work and the work we did together will inspire many young researchers who are, I hope, or who will not be, I hope, afraid to use computer games for professors as a source of deep knowledge and understanding of developmental processes.